People get ready to chant it down.
Get ready to come this wicked system.
Get ready to fight it down.
Get ready to come this wicked system.
People get ready to fight it down.
Get ready to fight this wicked system.
I'm ready to fight it down.
Get ready to fight Babylon system.
Oh God. Fight it.
Time check. I know you guys are enjoying this one. I promise you right after the announcements, I'll take this one from the top. It's time to bring you the evening news right here on your nation station, DBS.
Fair and balanced, unbiased and clear, concise and accurate. This is the DBS Evening News. Here now is your presenter with the headlines.
In the headlines, Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit says the 2025-2026 national budget will create about 4,000 jobs over the next 4 years. In the news from the region, 22 arrested in warrant and drug operations during state of emergency in Trinidad and Tobago this week. Internationally, Donald Trump orders the firing of statistics chief after weak U.S. jobs report. The details of these stories and more coming up next.
Flo's prepaid customers can now unlock big bonus rewards like bonus data, prizes, and more every time you activate a 3-day prepaid plan or larger. Activate a plan, then scratch to reveal your bonus data. Plus, get points for extra prizes. The more you activate, the more bonus data and prizes you can win. Get in on the big bonus rewards when you activate a prepaid plan. Dial *129# or visit topupflow.com to activate a plan today.
DBS News.
And welcome back. A special good evening to our listeners of Acoustic Worship Radio. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit says the 2025-2026 national budget will create about 4,000 jobs over the next 4 years. The jobs will be created with the International Airport Project, the Cable Car Project, and the Geothermal Project plant, among others.
With respect to jobs, this budget will create some 4,000 jobs. 4,000 jobs over the next 4 years, Mr. Speaker. International Airport, 450. The Cable Car, 200. The Ports of Marina, 70. Geothermal, 120. Stay over tourism, 250. Cruise tourism, 200. Digital IT services, 300. Retail, 150. Other services, 242. Agriculture, 1,200. Manufacturing, 200. Infrastructure, roads, 200. Infrastructure, housing, 250. Infrastructure, education, 75. Infrastructure, health, 50. The film industry, 300. Over 4,000 jobs over the next 4 years.
The Prime Minister also spoke of government's plans to decentralize waste management in Dominica.
We had decided to decentralize the disposal sites to eventually win ourselves off the stock farm facility and have separate facilities for tires and for derelict vehicles. This is why we're going to be using local government authorities to assist us in the decentralization or the management of collections. So it will be more timely. We're getting 2 trucks on Friday, it was delayed. Getting 4 in early October. We're also buying 4 tipper trucks and we'll be deploying them. So a truck will be in Granby, for example, in Mao, Mr. Speaker, we'll give a truck to Portsmouth and La Plaine so that the truck doesn't have to go from Roseau to Granby, come back. The truck is in Granby, so anything you see garbage, they'll pick it up and bring it. We get everyday stuff. The garbage in Mao market will not be there for 2 days because they'll have a truck. There'll be an arrangement between the Solid Waste Corporation and the local authority there to enhance the management, to enhance the collection. But at the end of the day, Mr. Speaker, there's a responsibility on our part. The way I see things, Mr. Speaker, no matter how much resources you give to solid waste, unless people change their attitude and behavior to the environment, will have a problem.
Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit. China's scholarship program for Dominican students expanded this morning with the award of 6 scholarships at a ceremony at the Chinese Embassy. China's ambassador to Dominica, His Excellency Chu Mao-ming, told the award of scholarship ceremony that the program will be expanded further next year.
As an instrumental mechanism facilitating the 2 countries' people-to-people exchanges, the scholarship program has been offered to over 200 Dominican students to study in China since the establishment of diplomatic relations in 2004. Now they thrive in respective careers. This year, another 6 students have been awarded the scholarships. Congratulations to all of you. Actually, both the ministry and my embassy helped to submit more than 6 because of the process of the universities. Unfortunately, some of the students were not admitted, but I hope that next year, Minister will have some discussions with her counterpart in China, and definitely we are going to increase the number of the scholarships.
China's ambassador to Dominica, His Excellency Chiu Mao-ming, Minister for Education Octavia Alfred, encouraged the students to use the opportunity to develop themselves.
So this is your moment, but it's also your responsibility. Carry this honor with humility and determination. Let it fuel your journey. Pursue excellence not only for yourself, but for your families and your community and your country. So make sure you make your families and your countries proud. Keep up a positive trend of academic excellence of Dominican students across the globe. Never take for granted the gifts afforded by the People's Republic of China. Consider yourself fortunate and make good use of this opportunity. I want to express profound gratitude to the People's Republic of China. They have been providing these opportunities for our students since 2004. You help to educate our students. That is part of helping to build Dominica.
Minister for Education Octavia Alfred. Recipients of the scholarships told the DBS News they are grateful to the governments of China and Dominica.
Well, I feel very honored, a bit anxious, a bit nervous. I don't know how to feel surely as yet, but I'm very grateful to the government of Dominica and the People's Republic of China for providing this opportunity for me. Well, I'm interested in computer science. That's the official name for my degree. I started it in Dominica State College a couple years back. That's more than 4 years ago I graduated. So now I'm going back to continue to get my bachelor's degree now. I wish to pursue programming, like I like to code on computers, make software apps, games, so I wish to learn more about that.
I'm very grateful and thankful for this opportunity. It's something I've wanted to do for a very long time. It's always been a dream for me to study in China. I'm very thankful that I've gotten the opportunity to accomplish my goal and my dreams. I'm going to be studying artificial intelligence at the Beijing Institute of Technology in China. Originally, I just want to thank God, my family, my mentors, my teachers, everyone who helped me achieve this scholarship. I'm just very grateful, at a loss of words, really and truly.
And I feel incredibly blessed to be bestowed with this scholarship to go and further my education. It means that I have the weight of making my family proud on my shoulder, together with my country, and to ultimately do my best. I intend to use my degree to help design resilient buildings in this wave of climate change and climate resilience, especially here in Dominica. I aim to use my skills to help develop our country in that aspect, especially given that now more than ever we are in the hurricane season. So
I think it's an excellent opportunity. Honestly, it really gives me opportunity to learn about other cultures as well as to receive exceptional education, and for me that is a big thing. I'm going to be studying biological sciences. Well, I intend to get into the field of science, whether it's being a doctor or researcher in genetics or possibly neuroscience. My final words are to look for an opportunity everywhere you can get it, because oftentimes things like this don't come around. So when you get this opportunity, take it and make the best of it. Really put yourself out there and try to make yourself the best version of yourself.
I'm grateful for the opportunity. It was surprising because at first, while I was going about my day at the time when I found out, and then I found out the news so suddenly on my phone. So it was a rush of emotions that I received the opportunity to achieve my goals. I'm going to be studying civil engineering at Harbin Institute of Technology. I'd like to thank God firstly, and then I'd like to thank my parents. Secondly, I'd like to thank my siblings. I want to thank the Ministry of Education as well as the government of China and Dominica respectively, making this opportunity or our goals seem reachable.
And that was the voice of Shirkwan Fontaine of Dodan. The other students were Kezia Roye of Point Michel, later Laura Moll of Portsmouth, Yazara Alexander of Roseau, and Josh Basil of Salisbury. Dominica will be represented by a 75-member team for the 15th Caribbean Festival of Arts, or CariFesta, in Barbados from August the 22nd to the 31st. Minister for Culture, Greta Roberts, says Dominica is preparing for the event.
We at the Ministry of Culture, we are presently preparing for CariFesta 15, which will be held in Barbados this year. We are looking at sending a team of about 75 participants to include 30 of our youth, 30 of our young people, because we want them to experience the Caribbean Festival of Arts. And Barbados wants us to come because they believe it will be the best festival of arts ever. So we are planning to send our people there. They will be performing in dance, in art. We will have art exhibitions. We'll have a fashion parade as well, and product displays. I want to thank the Honorable Henderson, because Dexia is playing a big part in that. We also want to thank the Ministry of Tourism, Honorable Charles, because they too are helping us, and education, of course, because we're engaging the youth. So all these three ministries are working with us to ensure that we really represent during CariFesta.
And that was Minister for Culture, Greta Roberts. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt says the Dominica's economy has recorded an average growth of 6% from 2020 onwards. Mr. Skerritt says despite the challenges posed by Hurricane Maria, then the COVID-19 pandemic, Dominica's economy has made a significant comeback.
We've always had growth in the economy, except the times of great adversity, shocks we had no control over. Shocks we had no control over. And then came COVID-19. That set us back severely with a 15.7% decline in 2020. And I believe, Mr. Speaker, we're not saying so over any boats. We had one of the most comprehensive systems to treat the COVID-19, Mr. Speaker. We did not allow any stone to remain unturned to save our people, to save our people's lives, and also to save their livelihoods. And since 2020, we have since bounced back with an average growth of 6% per year, Mr. Speaker. It did not take too long. COVID lingered until 2023. But because of our policy initiatives, allowing the economy to be open, people could go fish, people could go to the markets, people could go to the farms, construction continued during COVID, we allowed the supermarkets to open, we allowed some businesses to open, there was economic activity taking place. In 2021, Mr. Speaker, the economy grew by 5.4%. In 2022, during the middle of COVID-19, Mr. Speaker, the economy grew by 10.4%. In 2023, Mr. Speaker, the economy grew by 4.7%. And in 2024, 3.5%. So there's growth in the economy. And if you want to check the data, you go to the World Bank. Not scary numbers, that. World Bank numbers, Mr. Speaker.
Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt. Retired Justice of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court, Dominican Wynant Adrian Roberts, says certain sections of the country's Riot Act should be repealed. Dominica's Riot Act was introduced in 1897. She told a special panel discussion of the Dominica Bar Association last night that the wholesale changes may not be needed for the Riot Act.
While I will not hold the whole act itself as unconstitutional, the challenge is generally to a particular section of an act as opposed to the whole act itself. There are certain sections the first couple of sections which says what the penalty is for a riot, what the penalty is for an unlawful assembly. I don't see anything unconstitutional about it. So it would have to be section by section. I have issue with section 4 and 6, in particular section 6. So that particular section is one that I would advocate for repeal. I wish it was something like the US, where persons would call upon their parliamentary representatives to make these kind of representations before Parliament to change legislation. But unfortunately, we as citizens of Dominica, we do not take up that role at all. to look at legislation and to advocate for certain legislation to be repealed and to be replaced. I truly believe that we need legislation to deal with public order. I mean, in any civil society, you're going to need legislation to deal with it. But the Riot Act, as it is, in the language it is framed, it leaves a lot to be desired. And in particular, Section 6 is unconstitutional.
Retired Justice of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court, Reinand Adrian Roberts. Meantime, Attorney General Levi Peter is standing behind the Dominica's Riot Act.
The Riot Act is necessary to regulate and control serious disorder, destabilization, and threats to national security. I don't think anybody can seriously argue that it doesn't have that characteristic to it. It's necessary. I think most people would accept we have to have some kind of legislative framework which guides the law enforcement authorities and indeed those of us in society so that we know what we can do, what we're allowed to do legally, and what we cannot do legally or lawfully, and I think that this is reflected in these provisions. One of the things that's said is that the UK has repealed its Riot Act. As I said, that goes back to 1714. That was repealed by the UK in 1973. The difference is, I would submit, that law was repealed because it became I don't want to say obsolete, but certainly it was no longer fit for purpose.
And that was Attorney General Levi Peter. Minister for the Environment, Kozia Frederick, says the Dominicans must put their money where their mouth is as it relates to waste management in the country. Frederick told Parliament this week the time has come for Dominicans to be more proactive in the disposal of waste.
We have to have this conversation of how do we treat with putting our money where our mouth is in terms of dealing with solid waste management. And so we're revamping the entire management system. We will decentralize the collection. We will ensure that the trucks are placed in the right locations across the country so we can better able to treat with this. But also, Mr. Speaker, there are parts of the society that have to do a little more. How can you have a fete in a community, make money from the people who come and patronize, and leave this stuff on the ground? And then you wonder, and then you ask them, and something I see in the social media, what are the authorities doing? We have to have a responsibility, Mr. Speaker. I was driving through downtown Roseau on a Sunday afternoon, and I see cardboard boxes. That means they are packaging for material lying on the streets of Roseau. I saw television boxes, boxes that contain televisions and other appliances that's there. And so where is the corporate responsibility of the business places, Mr. Speaker? And just to say, Mr. Speaker, the landfill is just about 6 minutes from Roseau. And it's a minimal cost of about, I could be corrected, about $50 per ton to bring the materials to the landfill. So it appears to me, Mr. Speaker, that there's a certain level of irresponsibility. And where I sit as a minister and hear the cry of the manager, Florence Mitchell, and the staff at the Solid Waste Management Corporation, that in some of the material that is on the ground that we call solid waste, there are some materials that you, Mr. Speaker, would only want to pass nearby. And yet we have to delve in it and put it on the trucks.
And that was Minister for the Environment, Kozia Frederick, taking us to the end of this evening's National Focus. Up next is news from the region and international.
It's in the feeling in our weak side. It's in the meaning in our spark. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are. 'Cause the rhythm of life keeps pumping. Together going strong. No matter what, we keep things flowing. So people, we will go all in. Our hands up in the sky. Celebrating. Come, let your rhythm flow.
DBS News.
And welcome back. Now, news from the region. 22 people were arrested during a series of warrant and anti-crime operations across multiple police divisions in Trinidad and Tobago this week. 6 arrests were made yesterday between 7 a.m. and 11 a.m. as officers executed 7 warrants. 14 people were held between Wednesday morning and Thursday morning for offences including robbery with violence, malicious wounding, and possession of cocaine. 2 other men were charged with drug trafficking after separate searches in the Princess Town area. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service said the exercises formed part of ongoing efforts to execute outstanding warrants and disrupt drug networks during the state of emergency. Internationally, U.S. President Donald Trump has ordered the firing of the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics after job numbers were lower than expected in July, with figures showing that 73,000 jobs were created last month. The president has accused Erica McEnteffer without evidence of faking positive job numbers before the election to try and boost Kamala Harris's chances of victory. The possible firing is a major step that will raise new questions about the department's integrity and the risk that economic data could become politically compromised. It comes as global markets opened lower today after the scale of Trump's tariffs became more clear and several key U.S. allies are facing higher levies as of Friday today. This brings us to the end of this evening's news. Up next is sports.
Covering the nation and beyond, DBS Sports Reports.
Flow's prepaid customers can now unlock big bonus rewards like bonus data, prizes, and more every time you activate a 3-day prepaid plan or larger. Activate a plan, then scratch to reveal your bonus data. Plus, get points for extra prizes. The more you activate, the more bonus data and prizes you can win. Get in on the big bonus rewards when you activate a prepaid plan. Dial *129# or visit topupflow.com to activate a plan today.
And welcome to your DBS Evening Sports for today, August 1st, 2025. We start off with some inter-school action as Dominica's schoolboys volleyball team remained on course to win the boys volleyball title at the Windward Islands School Games as they secured a straight sets win over Grenada as that competition continued on Friday today. Dominica took the match 25-21, 25-20 and 25-22 to remain the only unbeaten team in boys volleyball. Despite the result, Dominica seems destined for a second place finish overall in the tournament as the competition heads into the last day on Saturday tomorrow. Grenada tops the points table with 37 points. Grenada has first place finishes in boys basketball and track and field and second place finishes in netball and football, and are in second place heading into the final day in girls basketball and girls volleyball. Dominica are in second overall on 33 points as Dominica are in first place heading into the final day in girls basketball and boys and girls volleyball. Dominica, however, finished third in athletics, football, netball, and boys basketball. St. Lucia are in third place overall on 23 points, and St. Vincent fourth on 19 points. Inter-schools competition continues Saturday with Dominica playing Grenada in girls basketball, and Dominica plays St. Lucia in boys volleyball, and Dominica will play Grenada in girls volleyball. Bowling into some cricket as West Indies captain Shea Hope says the Windies have to do better against the spin and limit the number of dot balls of the Windies are to beat Pakistan. His comments following the West Indies defeat in the first T20. Hope says that his batters need to be more positive.
I think it was not a bad total. Obviously, if you bowl well in these conditions, it's going to be difficult, especially from a spin standpoint. They've got some quality spinners in their lineup, and you see how difficult it was for us as a batting group. But also we realized how important it was to limit those dot balls, because I think we had close to 60 dot balls. There's almost 10 overs of dot balls in an innings, and we lost by 14 runs. So let's say we had 20 singles out of those dots, then it would have been a different game. So when you break things down like that, you got to ensure that you're coming out from a more positive front. And a lot of times when you got spin options that like they have on pitches like that, which is spinning, is a bit slow, is a bit grippy, you got to ensure that you rotate your strike a lot more, taking slightly less risk options, and finding ways to keep your scoreboard ticking over. So I wouldn't say it was not a power score, but I felt as well as a batting group, we still would have had that under control if we batted well.
Meantime, Hope has a lot of praise for Joel Andrew. Andrew made history, becoming the youngest player to play at a T20 match for the West Indies at just the age of 18. Hope says that Joel Andrew has a bright future ahead of him.
He's a quality player. When you look at him, you can just see class. He's shown that he can play at this level. He's got the skills, certainly got all the shots that we can think of. But it's just about him getting better, understanding how to go about his batting, building innings, and just growing as a batter. And if he does that, I think he's going to be a legend in this game. He's a quality player already. So as long as he continues to work hard, keep learning, and feeding off of the experienced guys around the group, I think he's got a very, very bright future ahead of him.
And that was West Indies captain Shea Hope. Still batting down the cricket line, West Indies head coach Darren Sammy is hoping his bowling unit can string good performances for the remainder of the T20 series against Pakistan. The bowlers struggled in the last series against Australia, but had their moments in the first T20 against Pakistan. Sammy says a strong bowling unit will be key for the West Indies if they are to have any success.
Yeah, I have to be confident. Ravi Rampal, who's been doing an excellent job in trying to instill this type of confidence, this type of skill into the bowling unit, something that I have spoken about, something that has been a little fun in our heel form for a long time, since we were really champions in that T20 team, where we had guys who did specific roles in different times. So Ravi is working really hard in getting them skillful enough to believe that they could execute. But all in all, it's first the mindset would determine the skill set. So we got to believe that we are good enough to execute our plans and continue to work on our skills. And hopefully this could be a turnaround. Although it's the same set of guys, but the little things that they practice they work on practice. Hopefully it could be executed out there in the middle.
And that was West Indies head coach Darren Sammy. The second T20 gets underway Saturday night at 8 p.m. Kicking into some football action, coach of the DFA Premier League side DSFC, Jordan Look, has acknowledged that the club's survival in the DFA Premier League will be on the line as they come up against East Central as the DFA Premier League continues on Saturday. DSFC are sitting in last place in 10 points or with 10 points in the points table on 4 points, having managed one win this season out of 14 games. So again, DSFC are sitting in last place in 10th position in the points table on 4 points, having managed one win this season out of 14 games. They will challenge 9th place East Central, who are on 7 points in a key match with implications for the relegation battle on Saturday. Luke says his team understands what's at stake.
I think the message, the commitment is that we're going to keep fighting. We're not going to give up. Yes, things are tough, but we're going to keep going. Complete performance. Past few games, we had a few key pieces, skilled players not available. Now we have more of a complete team. So it's about coming out and really giving a good account of ourselves, really putting in a good performance and making sure we can get the result that we're looking for in there. We'll see how the game goes. The game can talk. I mean, in our last game, we got 12 goals for real, but we also had 10 shots on goal. And the keeper made 10 saves, and we hit the post 3 times. So that says a different story in terms of how the game actually played. But we need to just keep giving the good performances and more complete performances to get to where we really want to go. And I think we'll have an interesting end to the season. And I'm not making any predictions. I don't think I have any right now. It's easier to look on the outside than to say what you're going to do for yourself.
And that was DSFC coach Jordan Luke. That game gets underway at 7 p.m. Saturday at the DFA Technical Center. The other Premier League match this weekend will feature Petro Caribe Point Michel and Middleham United FC. That game is carded for Sunday. Meantime, at the top of the points table, league leaders and defending champs Central Cooperative Credit Union Dubla FC can retain their title if they are able to win their next match. And second place Belfast Estate Maho Soka Strikers drops points. Dubla has an 8-point lead with 4 matches left in the season. Dubla are undefeated with 11 wins and 3 draws at the top of the standings with 36 points, while Maho has 28 points. We United and South East are on 25 points, Portsmouth on 22 points, and Harlem 21. Middleham has 16, and Point Michel has 11 points. Splashing into some swimming action as national swimmer, Jasmine Schofield will be hoping tonight that tonight will be her night as she heads into the pool again for the competition at the World Aquatics Championships in Singapore. Schofield is set to represent Dominica in the 50 meters freestyle event at the Games tonight. Schofield, who holds the national record in the event at 28.61 seconds, will compete in heat number 4 tonight. The heats will get underway from 10 p.m. tonight, Caribbean time. Earlier this week, Schofield finished in 6th place in a field of 10 swimmers in heat number 3 in the 100-meter freestyle event. Into some international cricket, India bowlers have struck back to leave the 5th and final test between England and India interestingly poised at stumps on day 2. England were in pole position at 100.